Hello everyone, welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick. This is a very, very delayed post-match reaction. I was there today with my family. Thank you very much, Kerry. Love ya. Thanks for sorting that out for me. So, yeah, me, the missus, and the two boys went today. Good day out, long day, long drive. Bastard drive there, and not much better on the way back. But was it worth it? Well, look, it's always worth it when you have a proper day out with football. So, yes, it was, and it was a game of two halves, as we've seen. This is pretty much a trend of West Ham at the moment, isn't it? So, yeah, I'll talk about the game in a second. As always, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. It does help us, and don't forget to drop a like on the video. Now, I'm not going to talk about this forever because I'm need to go and have a shower and get ready for bed. I'm knackered. Now, going to put some context around this, all right? If this was just an isolated thing and we had set out to block and frustrate Liverpool and then change it up and go for it later in the game, and it was just Liverpool, I'd say fine. You know, absolutely fine. But it's not. It's Wolves. It's Bournemouth. It's Liverpool. The lineup was wrong. It was completely wrong. You know, Scholes didn't have a good game, but he was never going to. Salah is probably the best player in the league. What he did to Scholes today, he's done to almost every fullback in the division. So why Potter saw it fit to pitch him against Salah when you've got Emerson, a much more experienced fullback, available? Why he did that, I don't know. I mean, look, I don't think Scholes was terrible today. I don't. He just got done by him twice, you know, and one time it did lead to their goal. But yeah, he went to the back five. So we had Scholes, we had Wan-Bissaka on the right, we had Mavropanos, Todibo, and Kilman. And I don't think that they were terrible. I don't think they were at all. You know, defensively, even though Areola had to stop quite a lot, we were sitting so deep, you know, he had to stop quite a lot. I don't think they played bad, you know. Kilman, Mavropanos, probably Todibo was the worst of the three, if I'm perfectly honest. Because I don't think he's suited to playing that style of football. It's a bit like what we used to get with Aguirre. It's backs to the wall shit. I mean, there is a comparison between that and Moyes ball and the philosophy behind it. Just sit, hold, hoof it long, get it out of the way, frustrate him, and then go for the game later on. You know, that philosophy is very Moyesy, isn't it? The issue with that is, by the time that you decide to go for it, you could be well out of the game. I mean, they could. You know, your opposition could be 2, 3, 4 goals up before you actually decide to put your best players on and go for it. So it's a completely flawed fucking plan anyway. But anyway, midfield. James Ward-Prowse, no Souček. James Ward-Prowse, Soler and Paqueta. Better. Why is James Ward-Prowse in there instead of Alvarez? Why? I mean, he's accepted now, by the looks of it, that Soler is a better central midfielder than Souček. Fuck me. I mean, he must have had an epiphany there, you know. And isn't he as well? You know, we saw that today. I was surprised he got hooked off. Far better. To think that he's not been playing, really, since January in his strongest position because he's being kept out of the team by either of James Ward-Prowse or Souček. Now, we've got rid of Souček. That problem's gone. We've got James Ward-Prowse in there. Runs his arse off. Runs his absolute arse off for nothing. He was completely outpowered, out-muscled, out-fought, out-skilled, everything in central midfield. Completely gone. You know, he's pointless. An absolute pointless player for us in this team. And he looks even worse. You know, when he was playing at Southampton, maybe with his technical ability, he looked a bit of a class above. Well, he don't. He had a big fish in a small pond here. He's a fucking minnow in a big fish in a shark tank at the moment. Anyway, we don't know how long we've got these players for. And obviously, you had Paqueta, who had a fucking brilliant game. And I know people are gonna, they'll probably have a go at him and blame him for the dive at the end. Without him in that team, we'd have done fuck all. He literally made us tick. Even in the first half. But in the second half, he weren't just the best player on our team. He was the best player on that pitch. By a mile. Him and Kudus, the only two players that would get anywhere near that Liverpool team. And they actually fucking would get near that Liverpool team as well. They are a class above. The pair of them. Kudus was a little bit in and out of the game, but when he was in it, he was fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I think his days of busting the gut and doing loads of defensive work are over. He wants to attack. He's and to be fair to him, he was. When he was getting the ball to feet, he was holding it up. He had 3-4 players around him sometimes. He was fighting them off. He was brilliant today, Kudus was. When he had the ball, he was incredibly threatening. Bowen, not so much. Not so much. But in the first half, they weren't really attacking. We had a row of 5, we had a row of 3, and Bowen and Kudus were never on the shoulder. And the thing is, we were hoofing long balls to no one. We could have left in the first half Bowen and Kudus up the field in line with their defenders, so that when we do hoof those long balls into the channel, we've got people who can chase them. We didn't do it. It was rubbish. So there was holes again in the starting lineup. Tactically it was wrong. The selection was wrong again. And then he comes out in the second half, hasn't made any fucking changes, and then he makes the big fullback change again, like he did in the last game. But this time it's Soufal. And Wan-Bissaka goes over to the other side, marks Salah, takes Salah out of the game. Fine. We haven't got 2 Wan-Bissakas though, unfortunately. But I was worried then, because Diaz is a good player. I thought, hang on a minute, you'd be putting Soufal on Diaz. What are you doing? But as it materialised, I don't think that Liverpool were completely on it in the second half. We were playing more advanced. We were playing more progressive. The shape changed a little bit. Bowen and Kudus were definitely starting to attack. All of a sudden, Soler and Paqueta had people that they could hit with forward passes. That was a difference. And, Paqueta was threading those balls through time after time after time. Put Bowen through. I don't know if it was a bad miss or a good save. Kudus had a great chance as well, didn't he? Good shot, to be honest. And he did the right thing, flashed it across the face of goal. Went for the far corner, but it was a good save. Alisson's just a great keeper. We had a few chances. One, in the first half, you had the Mavropanos header. You had we probably could have had 4 or 5 goals ourselves today. But the real frustration for me is that although I'm just going to fast forward to the end, right? Because although I thoroughly enjoyed that second half, I actually did. Even before, to a degree, the changes were made, we got way better once they were made. But the whole emphasis of the way that we was playing, it changed in the second half, and we went at Liverpool. And this is the team that are winning the league. We was a better team. In the second half, we were better than Liverpool. In the first half, it was just Liverpool playing football. We weren't even in the fucking game. Submissive. The mentality is to just sit and hold and frustrate, basically kill half the game and only play 45 minutes of it. That's it. Whether you're home, away, against Wolves, Bournemouth or Liverpool, the philosophy is the same. Don't put your best fucking starting 11 out, whatever you do. And just hope and pray that the game isn't dead and buried by the time that you decide to turn it on. It's completely wrong. If the one time it works, you'll look like a genius. Because Liverpool will miss their chances, blah, 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 blah. They won't do it, and then you'll get in at half time, or you'll get to 60 minutes and it'll be 0-0. And then you'll put your players on. And then you might nick a goal, 1-0, and they'll go, oh, masterclass. But you're talking 1 out of 100. Most of the time, teams of this level, they're going to score their fucking chances. So you've got to get your noses in front. Why can't he do it the reverse way round? Why can't he play shitty bum, which is how we go out and start a game? Why can't he do that when we're 1 or 2 goals up? Fine. If you want to revert to a fucking low block, do it when you've got something to protect. I could half understand that. But it's clear now, isn't it? We saw it against Bournemouth, once the changes were made, how good this team is. And we've just seen it in the second half against Liverpool, how good this team is. The players that he's got at his disposal, they are fucking phenomenal. And the fact that we're not getting the best out of them, this does kind of fall on his shoulders. He's got all of these assets to use at present. And you've got fans that are deluding themselves going, yeah, get rid of Paqueta, get rid of him, get rid of Kudus. We'll be way better. Are you fucking sure? We haven't recovered from letting Declan Rice go. This level of player we're lucky to have, and they're the only reason that we're 17th and not where fucking Ipswich are. They're the only reason that we're not in the bottom three, because Ipswich haven't got a Paqueta, they haven't got a Kudus, they haven't got a Bowen. They ain't got these players. And you just want to get rid of them. You just got to look at the problem that we've got. At the minute, Potter, I'm sorry, I'm still not fucking happy with him. I was really happy with the second half. Good football. But it's just too little too late again. It came in, we was 13th. We've just gone boom, 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 boom. Meanwhile, Everton overtaken us. They was 9 points behind us. Wolves were shit. Everton and Wolves were every bit as shit and in as much of a mess as what West Ham was when those two managers took over their clubs. And you look at them and the improvement and you look at us. We've got worse, but the players are fucking brilliant. Maybe what it was, Everton went out and got a manager that fitted the squad, that could get the best out of the players that they had. Maybe Wolves went out and got a manager that fitted their group of players to get the best out of what they had. And what we've gone and got in is a bloke that needs a new fucking team to play a new way, because this style of play, particularly in the first half, it's a massive contradiction. Well, between first half and second half, you need two different fucking teams. Because you've got to be a specialist, you've got to be amazing at something, either defending or attacking. This is jack of all trade bollocks. 1 minute, or for 45 minutes, you've got to be sitting deep, not moving, in a block, fucking hoofing the ball long. So you've got to be switched on defensively in that, because that's a skill in itself. I don't like that style of football, but that's the difference between a Dawson and an Aguirre. So you've got to have a player that can do both, because then, when we decide to switch it up, you've got to go bang, progressive, get yourselves forward. So we're always going to be lacking in one respect. You've got to have some identity. Yes, you've got to be able to be tactically flexible, but you can't go from one extreme to the fucking other in the same game with the same players. You can't be world class at everything. All you're going to end up with is just being, we can do a bit of everything, but we're not great at anything. So it is, the way that we're approaching games and then managing them thereafter is a massive contradiction. Are we defensive or are we attacking? What's going on? You know, there's no point even having Kudus and Bowen on the pitch when you consider what we did with them in the first half. You may as well have put Souček and Alvarez on there, in their place, for how often they were getting forward. You might as well have just put Alvarez and Souček on there. They were props in the first half. They weren't getting forward. They was defensive. Yeah. So look, we'll have to see what he does against Southampton. We'll see. But I don't reckon we'll see the strongest. We didn't see the strongest lineup against fucking Liverpool. I think that what we're likely to see against Southampton is an opportunity for Souček to come back in. We'll reunite Jedward because they're a weaker team. So don't go out there with our full strength best team where we could rip them to pieces and the fans could have a good time. I think what we're likely to do is just get some players some minutes. And how lucky were you when you think at half-time as well? When he went in at half-time, he made no changes. Wolves were 2-0 up. Fucking Ipswich were 2-0 up as well. At half-time. This is the urgency this man's got. We were 1-0 down. We were 12 points or 13 points ahead of Ipswich. No, we were 12 points ahead of Ipswich when they were winning 2-0. Well, one of them games, we've got to play them. So let's say they beat us. 9 points they've got to make up. They've got winnable games in between. All of a sudden, you're looking at their fixture list going, fucking hell. They're beating Chelsea. They beat Bournemouth. They'll beat Leicester. So they've just got to get 2 more wins. Because you can't see us fucking winning apart from against Southampton. So he saw that at half-time and came out with the same team. And you got Füllkrug warming up. Why was Füllkrug left on the bench until 10 minutes to go? Please tell me. It makes no sense. I know we did all right throughout the whole second half, but we got better when the changes were made. We needed a focal point. We're better with a striker. And he only did that because the fans were singing and singing and singing and singing for Füllkrug. We've got a big fucking German. You know, constant, on loop for about 10 minutes until eventually he pulls him on. So no, look, I'm not fuming. I'm really happy and I'm pleased with the performance of the players today. I thought the players stuck to their task, shit game plan, shit team selection. But even James Ward-Prowse, he's fucking useless, but he works his arse off. So to a man, including Scholes, every West Ham player today, you know, they really did play their hearts out, and the fans, you know, we all stayed behind. We gave him a clap at the end. It was fine. We recognise that. You know, it was a good performance, but we lost again. We lost. Like I said, if it was an isolated thing, you go, oh yeah, narrow loss against Liverpool is fine. They're winning the league. Well, what about Wolves? What about fucking Bournemouth? I know we didn't get beat against Bournemouth, but this is bad. Look, the form is terrible. And he ain't going to have as good a team next year. Paqueta, like I've already said, you saw today how good that bloke is. Without a doubt, in my opinion, the best player on that pitch. Phenomenal player. Kudus on the ball, brilliant. When you consider a Liverpool tricky player hasn't got to hold off 4 or 5 fucking players, Kudus has. Because of the way that they play versus the way that we play, they've got threats all over the place, so you can't double up on everyone. Whereas Kudus, people just tend to go to him, which should really free Bowen up. It should do. But yeah, I don't know. I had a really good day out. I'm really proud of the players. And I'm really frustrated with this fucking manager. Because we could and possibly should have been a couple of goals down before we decided to go for it. That's the facts. But yeah, we weren't. We was 1-0 down, and it could have come off. We got the goal at the end, or they got the goal. It was a good move though. Great ball from Paqueta. Great work from Wan-Bissaka, who did wonderful work on that left hand side. And then they fumbled it into the box. But look, it was we created that, you know. But yeah, I'm just frustrated with it because green shoots. What fucking green shoots? We've gone from 13th to 17th. We can't go no lower. We can't. If we could, we would. If any of those bottom 3 was anywhere closer to us, I'd be tipping us to get fucking relegated. But it's just as well that they're as crap as they have been. And as low as we can go is 17th, because we ain't going to move off of that spot. We're not. We might beat Southampton, but that's about fucking it. This team could beat anyone that we play. We could have beat Liverpool today. The way that Liverpool was playing. Don't forget Fulham beat them last week. We could have beat Liverpool if we started the game the way that we finished it. Yes, we fucking could have. Because this team, as in this group of players, has got the ability to do so. But do I think that we will, under the constraints of this fucking pleb that we've got running the team? No. He's bollockless. He is, as a manager, like fucking James Ward-Prowse is as a midfield run. They're like fucking, yeah, 2 peas in a pod. I'm just worried for next season because this geezer is going to be here. There's a lot of players that ain't going to be here. It's a complete fucking waste. We've seen glimpses of how good that we can be all season, and it is such a waste because we could have been watching some phenomenal football this year. We could have been having some great results. We could have all been having a good time. You might have been having some fans that have fallen out of love with the club and not renewing their season tickets, still going over there, still full of hope and everything else, but we've just been killed by these idiots that they put in the dugout. The players have been killed. So, no. Like I said, I'm torn on it, right? Brilliant performance from the players. Idiotic tactics from the manager. We deserved a point either way, but I think that we could have got the win if we'd have approached it a little bit differently. And if it was in isolation, I would be far less frustrated, but it ain't in fucking isolation. It's a trend of whoever we play against. Whoever it is. It's getting boring. Anyway, well done, West Ham. Just grow a pair, Potter. Fuck off. Honestly, I'm just bored with him already. I am bored with him, the geezer.